Hey guys, it's the Techie TVI here. I just wanted to make this video on using the data sheets that I have shared. I've had people ask me in the past how I use it. So I just wanted to make a quick video on how to do that. So first of all, I've uploaded the document onto my iPad so that you can see me writing. And you can see I'm just putting student 1 and the year that I'm doing that. And you'll see at the top there's this weird box, and I'll highlight it in just a second. That's not there on the printed version. Again, it's one of those weird technology things that I don't understand. So the first thing is you're going to have the student goal, obviously. So I'm going to make up a goal, and I came up with, given a typing activity, the student will type with 80% accuracy at 10 times as measured by teacher data collection. This may not be the best written goal, and that's fine. I'm just using it as an example. So at the top you have the date. So that's where I write the session when I work with the student on that goal. And I may not work on every goal every time, but you get it. So obviously you go in to work with the kid, and you'll see here that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I have to erase and rewrite a few times on here. You write the date and then however they scored on the typing activity. So on this one, we'll say that they did 75%. So I go down to my notes, and I like to take notes on each session. So 12:1, I'm going to write that. I'm going to write exactly what the student did. If the student has any problems, if there's something I need to note, like a specific skill that they're having difficulty with, or if they were having pre-seizure activity and it just wasn't a good session. That way, if there's like an outline data point, I know maybe what happened that day. So on this one, I'm saying they scored 75% on the right-hand home row. So I'm being specific on what they did, and then if they have any issues. So they had trouble with the L and K. That way, if I come back at the beginning of the school year, I look at my notes from previous sessions, I can see kind of where the student was currently and if there's any issues. So that's just basic. And then I added the date 12/5, and I put that he had 80%. So this time I'm going to put the student scored 80% on the right-hand home row. And did the student still have issues with L and K? Whatever notes that are important to you to make for your sessions is what you're going to put here. I try to do quick, detailed notes, so I don't have to put that Tommy talked about trains and was distracted. You know, if it's a behavior issue, then I might write that. I might write that if it's something that really needs to be acknowledged, because we might have to in the future work on following directions to stay on task as a pre-voke skill or something. You get the picture. But for this skill, I'm worried about what are they having trouble with. So they had trouble with L and K. Now, I've just made some squiggle lines for the dates. I'm so sorry. I've made some squiggle lines for the dates. and I went and checked. So what I do is I highlight at the criteria for mastery. So I want them to hit 80%. That's their goal, is to get 80%. And I want them to do it 8 out of 10 times. So now I can count. So any of those highlighted lines count as that they did it. So I can count and see that 2 times they hit with it between 70 and 79%, and the rest of the time it was 80 to 99%. And I would be able to tell that specifically from my notes. I don't know why I keep scrolling up and down. Anyway, that's how I determine the percentage on my IEP goals. And also, if you wanted to, I'm showing you that you can convert it to text. That way, if it was just you and you wanted to put your data sheets on the iPad at the end of the year, you wanted to print them off, you can convert it to text. You can see with my handwriting, it isn't perfect, but it's decent. And you can just edit any mistakes that it has. So anyway, this is how I get my percentages for IEP goals. So I want them to hit 80%, 8 out of 10 times for right now. Then maybe I'm going to go to 90% accuracy 100% of the time. So here I've erased some of the data, and I'm going to make it to where they didn't do as well. Maybe they're struggling with that skill. And like I said, you can use this for anything, just based on the criteria for mastery. And there is a prompt level sheet. So again, the criteria is 80%. And what I do is I get a pen of some color. Here I've used red, and I draw a line at the end of the semester. So here I've had 10 sessions with this student. I've got all my data. A quick little correction, I said at the end of the semester, and I meant at the end of the 9 weeks. So every time a progress report goes home is when I do this. They hit the goal 5 out of 10 times. That gives me 50%. So on their progress report, I might say, student is, or I would put 50%, and I would talk about how that student is performing on that goal for my progress report. I'm not going to talk about writing goals or writing narratives for IEPs, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just showing you, one, how you can use the iPad for your data sheets, and 2, how to use the data sheets. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, or if you would like me to do one for prompt level, I'll be more than glad to do it. I was shared these by a colleague when I worked at the School for the Blind in my state, and I have really enjoyed it. I've adapted a little bit, since now I just focus on vision goals, but I found it really helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. I hope you have a great night or a great day, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you at the next video.